everybody. I'm Brenda Pugh with the 120th District in Luzerne County. And today we're down at the 109th Pennsylvania State Farm Show, where I encourage everybody to come down. We're going to talk to Secretary Russell Redding right now on how it's going this year.
It's good to see you. Congratulations to you, first of all, and
thank you.
Thanks for wearing your PA. Love the PA fairs.
Love them.
Yeah. Well, it's good to be here. I mean, it's always the start of an exciting time of the year, right? It's I can't think of a better way to launch a new year than being at the farm show. So it's you're still meeting and greeting and eating and enjoying all of the agricultural aspects. There's so much here to do.
Even on a beautiful snowy morning driving in.
I remind everybody it's January in Pennsylvania.
Right?
It is.
So,
and it's Farm Show Week.
But that's good for the soil too, and that's good for the ground, right?
Well, particularly after the year we had, right? So I don't know what your area was like, but we were really dry. So every little bit of moisture is a good thing, right?
To come into the growing season.
It's a good thing.
I agree. So tell me about what's new with this year's Farm Show.
Yeah, so we've been really intentional. I mean, you'll see changes just within view here, like the pollinator protection area. This whole sort of just continues to grow. People love pollinators, right? They're worried about them for a lot of reasons. This commodity areas, we term it here. You'll see some new things. We've added the extended conservation pod over in the giant expo hall. You'll see that. Excuse me. We have Temple Grandin, Dr. Temple Grandin, who's coming in, background in autism, professor at University of Colorado, talk about animal issues and animal welfare concerns. Then there's about 200 different activities on stages here, right? That take
People
place.
don't realize that, I don't think.
It's everything from, if you want to be a farmer, what do you need to do? If you want to, animal care, woodworking, this is PA hardwoods, you can see that being made. So, yeah, a lot of new things.
Let's talk about that. I love this new set and the fact that you made it out of Pennsylvania hardwoods, including the table that we're sitting at today.
It's just one of those things that sort of grew out of the interviews with legislators and has taken on sort of a lot of really important meaning during this week and a chance to sort of meet members, new members, you talk to folks, look at the year ahead. But we were doing that in a booth that had a lot of generic, I'll just say, framing to it. And our friends from the Hardwood Development Council said, I think we can do better than that.
Oh, right? I love it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So you can see the floor, the backdrop here, the tables and chairs, all PA hardwoods. 16 million acres of hardwoods in PA. $1 billion in exports.
So many things I don't think people realize that Pennsylvania thrives in and does so well in. I love the pollinators. So I think we spoke earlier. I've been a chairman of a fair for one of our Pennsylvania fairs for 11 years and then a co-chair prior to that. So the pollinators, we actually have started bringing the bees in and the pollinators to show it, even with the honey thing, and people absolutely go crazy over it because they love seeing it. So something different, and that PA Preferred is just so important in our area. Can you explain a little bit about that PA Preferred program for people?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your support in the fair, and it takes a lot of work to plan like this farm show, right? It's you're never sort of done in the planning of a fair or farm show, but PA Preferred, we just celebrated our 20th anniversary. PA Preferred, it is it's the signature marketing initiative of the Department of Agriculture. Every consumer when you buy the product that's got the PA Preferred brand, which is a keystone with a check mark, that's the certification that it's from Pennsylvania, right? Produced here, processed here, and that connection between what's produced here and what people buy here is really important, right?
It's very important.
From a consumption standpoint, from a job standpoint. So, that's PA Preferred, and we've got 1,100 companies and businesses now that are now part of that.
That's fantastic.
At a culinary stage that, if you get a chance, please visit.
I will.
Full of chefs and PA product all week long.
Yeah, and by supporting PA Preferred, we're actually supporting our neighbors and we're supporting our local farmers right here in Pennsylvania. So that's super important, and I love that process.
Well, the connection's important, right? If it doesn't matter where it comes from, then we lose.
Right.
Right? So it's important to us all.
And I appreciate you even coming up into Luzerne County, because I know you've been to Hillside Farms with our ice cream there, with the cows, and Beekeeper's Daughter, where we have our honey, all sorts of stuff up there.
Exactly.
Brace's Farm with our apples. So it's great that you get out and actually spread the word about this and how important that it is.
Well, we've got great partners, from the fairs to the dairies to the creameries. We've built these sort of really interesting trails over the last couple of years with DCED,
right.
our partner agency on tourism, right, for wines and ice cream trails. We get a chance to see that, but also support it. And I think the work over the last couple of years that you'll step into here around the PA Farm Bill, it's the only state with its own state level farm bill in the nation that supports ag and youth and
right.
technology and innovation and farm markets and urban ag. All of those things are really good.
I'd like to actually see some more programs introducing our youth to agriculture, because I find from doing the fairs, you get people from all over the place, particularly into the cities that come in. And some of the biggest things that break my heart but also make me feel really good about running a fair is the parents will tell me, thank you for doing this, because my children would have never been exposed to it. Yeah. They would have never seen the animals or the cows or the goats and never realized where stuff is grown and how it's grown. Potatoes are grown underground and an apple's grown on a tree. So it's just really important, and I'd love to see more programs inside of schools, because I think we kind of gotten away from that on the inside of our schools.
I'm with you. It was part of the reasoning for us is to really put an emphasis on the farm to school initiative. Right, to at least introduce schools to some gardens, and that's been really well received, but there's a lot more to do, right? We've got an ag commission which was formed a couple of years ago that focuses on both the formal aspects of ag in programs with PDE and the Department of Education. But there's a lot of others who just want to have that sort of, lowercase A and E, as I call it, exposure to ag and ag education. Yeah, so that's
more to awesome. Do. Yeah. And there's, with every good stuff comes some interesting stuff. So the bird flu that's going around, and people haven't seen the chickens and the birds at the fairs recently. Can you talk a little bit about that and why it's so important not to expose the public to that? Yeah,
it's the most frequently asked question we get here is about, people love the chickens, right?
They do.
They love, whether at the fair or the farm show, people love the chickens. Unfortunately, we've got this disease that travels in the wild birds that the domestic fowl, whether they're backyard or commercial flocks, are particularly susceptible to. So for 3 years now, we have not been able to have poultry at farm show or the fairs. And it continues to swirl. I mean, we've got an issue right now in the Allentown area with snow geese that occurred last week. That's now a problem for us and the commercial flocks. It's about 900 flocks across the country, 16 states. So it's out there. And so we're in a flyway in the Mid-Atlantic region. We're hopeful we can get through the year. We don't have any positives in the high pass side yet this year. I'm hopeful that stays there. But it's part of the worry, right? It's this connection that those diseases in the wild become problems for the commercial production.
Right.
And therefore, you end up having to put quarantines in place. So.
And you have to do that, and it's for the safety of the public too. I know sometimes it gets difficult on our level to explain it to people as to why we can't have them and only have pictures in cages, but I appreciate the initiatives that you guys put out, and then the fairs actually put out trying to educate the public on it, so that's very important. Yeah.
4-H has done a nice job, by the way, and they're here again with the pictures and the education and biosecurity discussions. We did bring back some turkeys this year and the duck slide. So you have a little bit of poultry and avian, but that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Let's talk about 4-H. My children came up through 4-H, so we spent a lot of our time here in this building at the different competitions and shows across the state. So I think our 4-H programs do a great job too in trying to get stuff out.
Yeah, I think it's to your earlier point about just sort of exposure to sort of agriculture and food and some of those, the organizationally piece that I think even my own sons and your family have been, really benefited from. Just we say there's really simple things like eye contact and extending your hand to introduce yourself. It's like there's really simple things, and then you get all the benefits, of course, of the projects. But Penn State's been wonderful to work with.
Yeah, Penn State's fantastic. And it's much more than just animals, and it's much more than just produce. They do all sorts of stuff in 4-H. So the camaraderie that's created is awesome.
It's really good. What would you like to do? You're coming in to the legislature, and congratulations to you.
There's all sorts of stuff. You know what? Just some common sense, bringing stuff back to the people of the 120th, representing them in the best way that I possibly can, and naturally supporting agriculture and industry. I think that's very important. Bringing good paying jobs into our district and making sure that the residents are taken care of there and across the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Well, whatever we can do to help, right? There's a lot of things that we work with. I think the Farm Bill has been wonderful to sort of bring a lot of sort of the urban areas, rural areas together, a lot of contemporary issues around food and food access, right? Land use concerns, job workforce issues. So wherever we can help you, please let us know.
I appreciate that, and I will take you up on it.
So, yeah, please. Good.
Secretary Redding, thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
You too. Thank you.